Well now. They really carefully set up one tragedy as a misdirect for what they were actually going to do in the cutscene.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
At least Halaric's alright.
That was...
No, that kid's getting poisoned right
No.
now. You don't get to just walk away and, like,
That was actively distressing that he just completely was unresponsive to anything that entire time, just making it more tragic because she sacrificed herself for him and he's just staring dead-eyed at her.
Yeah.
While saying no one should die in pain while dying in pain.
Yeah.
Well now.
You're hypocritical.
Not only dying in pain, but also then horrifically mutating into whatever the hell that thing was.
That was a more effective cutscene than like the entire last expansion.
Yeah. Oh boy.
I'm sorry, hero. I tried to tell the Karas what happened, but I can't be the shoulder they lean on. Not like this.
Okay.
What happens if we try and talk to Halric? No response.
What happens if I try to attack Howard?
Yeah. I have a scythe here. I am a reaper. I
have a
can
very
solve this
pointy
problem
spear.
without the poison.
Large woman.
Large woman? She has a name, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but we haven't asked her name, so how do we know it? Is that just one of the special heroes of light
It's
powers?
yeah, it's the
The
Warrior of Light
Echo.
superpower. It's our only actual ability.
That's why
We
people like us
are-
so much.
Wow, you remember my name. No one remembers my name.
It's like the Death Note. The
It's
Shinigami
just
eyes.
so unfair. Testing was always so cheery with the patients, telling them not to be scared. That there wouldn't be any pain. Of all the people in the world to suffer such a fate.
Bum, 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 bum.
Everybody talking to him?
Not yet, one
I'm
second.
seeing Keith. Oh no, Keith said.
Okay, now I'm here.
I imagine you're
Take
just
camera
as
in.
shocked as the rest of us. So I appreciate what you're doing here. Me, I can barely... I don't have the words. Without a body, we can't even give her a proper burial. She cared about that sort of thing. About giving the people the chance to say their goodbyes.
It's just me, or does this guy look like buff emo Frodo?
What?
What?
He has a name.
That guy we just talked to?
Yeah. Wilfoot.
Damn.
Howrick is as unresponsive as ever. He stands motionless, staring up into the sky where the Sin Eaters made their escape.
He looks like a child of the corn. I wonder if I can recolor my character's eyes to look like that.
I've spoken with the Karas. Thank you. What you're doing, it means a lot to them, to me.
Sorry to interrupt. We realized we hadn't thanked you for rescuing Halric. You weren't hurt at all, were you?
Hurt? There wasn't even a fight. I was too late. Too slow. And I thought I could protect you. You can't blame yourself for things beyond your control. You brought Halric back safe and sound. No one could have done any more. I'm sorry, but I've come to a decision. I won't be continuing my role here. I hope you will forgive me for leaving you, and that you will delay Halric's last meal for as long as you possibly can. Not until it's too late, of course. Just give him what time you can. Extremely dangerous gamble.
We always do.
Yeah, it's our job. Thanks for telling us how to do it.
Of course. She would have done the same.
She was very bossy.
Farewell, Halric. Keep Teslian's words close to your heart. Oh, you were right there. Oh, you could hear that.
I mean, he knows. He should know. He signed up for this shit.
Yeah, but they're just actively talking about it in front of him. Wait, you're leaving this very moment. I understand how much you must feel, but surely this is a bit hasty. Do you even have anywhere to go? I have a destination in mind, yes, and a purpose. This damned light, building without cease. It's the reason we can't save these those corrupted by eaters. What if we corrected the balance? Even if it were only little by little, even if it took years, it would surely make things better.
Now hold on there. Everyone knows there's too much light, but how could you ever hope to get rid of it? You'd have to change the whole world.
That's right. We should return to the Crystarium. I may not be able to repel the eaters on my own, but I can still use the skills I have gained here to hurt them.
A weird quest complete.
Quest accepted. Alright, well, from this
It's
angle, it
such a
looks
weird-
like Panda's wearing nothing.
Yeah, it does look like
It
Panda's naked
looks
on a
completely
motorcycle.
naked on a motorcycle from this angle.
That is a terrifying angle. I like the motorcycle though.
Ba-dee-ba-dee-boo,
Would be helpful if I was facing the right direction.
Shame,
would.
shame, shame, shame.
I will turn this car around. Don't make me do it.
Fringe, you face?
Nope, I'm doing it. Turning the car around.
Face directions? Like what? South?
Compasses? Ew. Who uses a compass?
This is contained to my stream, but the moment you said you were turning things around, the chat was just treated to me spamming the error message of not being able to get out.
Who joined a fate?
Powerful
And now we
choices.
left it. I guess it wasn't our fate.
We
Fate is
drove
just such
through
a dramatic name for such a mundane thing that happens constantly in this game. It's my fate to eat this candy today. Forgive me, hero. I couldn't stay there a moment longer. But I was serious about what I said. While the men and women at the inn battle against this blight with kindness, I must fight it my own way, with steel, or whatever the fuck this sword's made of. From Eorzea's sword in the darkness to Novant's sword in the light. Gods above. It feels like an age ago now. Miss Alice, is there anything I can get you? Your swiftest Amaro. I need to return to Crystarium immediately. As you wish. Oh, hello. Convenient. Remind me to wear goggles if we ever fly over Orang again. I've barely gotten the sand out of my eyes. But the wind did help to clear my head at least. I think I'm ready to visit with the Exarch. We need to talk about how we're going to wipe the Sin Eaters out, shall we? Your zombie boomerang prediction was way more accurate than expected because we went across the desert to a graveyard, then came back again.
I know, right?
Power of Australians.
Yeah.
That's one of the
Well, I
fastest
wasn't
in and outs of
expecting
any
the,
like quest location ever, too.
Wasn't
Yeah, that was
expecting the Silent
pretty
Hill
efficient.
moment.
Wait, do we just talk to this guy?
Yep, guess so.
Oh.
Yeah, he's just the gate
Take
person.
Yeah.
into the ocular.
Let me in! Let me in!
Let me on.
Thank you for seeking me out, hero. It meant a lot to have you there at my side. I was tempted to set off again the moment we had decided upon a direction, but you have still to visit Alpha now, haven't you? And if I know my brother, he'll be on the cusp of discovering something vital to our success, if he hasn't already. I'm content to stay here and consider our options for the time being, but don't keep me waiting for too long, eh? Time to quit this game for a year.
Yeah, but
I kind of wish that they
I learned Bioblaster.
I wish that they stuck with the Ocarina of Time idea and just put everyone in the circle. And then once you finish getting all the people for the circle, we all get to stand in the middle.
They
of the
still
circle
stand in a
and
big
yell
circle.
Yeah, they just stand in a big circle and then yell at us about shit.
We don't have enough trapped NPCs here to fill this circle, sadly.
Well, you make the circle smaller or more bigger circles.
More bigger. Everyone
More
talking?
bigger. Yep.
You will visit Alphino in Colusia, then. Excellent. As I mentioned, your destination is an island off the west coast, so you will need a mount capable of making the journey. Here's a letter of introduction, presented to Sezam Jinimai, the master of beasts at Temenos Rookery, and he will take care of you. When you see Alphino, be sure to pass on my warmest regards. Wink wink nudge nudge.
Oh, we get a
say
new
no more.
mount. Let's go.
I
What a
dingled.
mouthful those words were.
Yeah. Colusia is definitely one of those weird ones. As is, I want to say Genmai? I think that D is silent.
Yeah, Jen, not
D
Jen.
is silent.
Stealth
No
D.
D for you.
Silence these nuts.
Oh, you get the D, you just don't notice.
That's terrifying.
I watched Rothgar
Yeah.
courtship happening in real time.
And you thought the Rothgar was shaggy.
Oh, it's the bird thingies that I can pay to ride. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's another Amaro.
Cool. Okay. Your face is unknown to me. What business have you at my rookery?
Take
They
care
seem
of you,
fine.
it says. All right.
Signed by the Exarch, no less. Yes, I can provide you with an Amario for passage to Colusia. I will pick out a friendly whelp.
And there I was expecting a chocobo.
And that I was expecting a chocobo. And then it's a chocobo. Poof.
A chocobo? Do you hail from one of Noravant's more isolated settlements, perchance? I hear there are a few places where they ride little else. But here in the Crystarium, mounts like that gray fellow there are far more commonly used. Seeing as you are plainly unaccustomed to riding Amaro, I think it best I accompany you on this flight myself. Any Zune worthy of the name could do it, of course, but the Exarch sent you to me. Ensuring you arrive safely is my responsibility. Gather your things and meet me at Amaro launch. One of the junior tamers will attend to you while I ready the mounts. Okay. Thank you, sir. Where is that?
Amaro launch.
Oh, there it is.
Where we just came from, oddly enough.
I couldn't find it on the map because I was too zoomed in. Alright. Hello. Anybody want to be these guys? No? None
I mean,
of you?
it's probably
Okay,
just a single line of dialogue.
Oh, okay.
You want to fly in Amaro to Colusia? Well, I suppose if Master Genmai is going with you. Wait here, please. The Master should be along with the mount shortly.
You can now travel to blah blah blah.
And there was much rejoicing.
The whistling breeze, mute. The pounding surf, frozen. Time itself takes a breath. At light's edge, all is perfectly still. The world captured in a painting, locked in a moment. Music faint and fleeting, drifts coastward on the lifeless air. And in the distance, beyond the broken earth, a city beckons.
Very needy city. I'm not too sure I want to visit that.
That is gaudy as shit.
Wow.
That's coming from a blue man wearing pink.
Let's not be too judgy, all right? We haven't seen what it looks like in the inside.
We have.
Oh, it's just as
in
gaudy.
the-
Just as
in the
gaudy.
cutscene.
Oh,
We saw this place during the trailer thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
It's where everyone was just partying and eating. Same guy.
Wait. Oh, that's me. Sorry. We are arrived. This is Cracked Shell Beach on the eastern coast of Colusia. You should be safe here for the present. Compared to the mainland, Sin Eater attacks are far less prevalent, and the native beasts are not only more dangerous than elsewhere, or not any more dangerous than elsewhere. It is the people you should be wary of.
Who you calling people?
I guess us. Spy you that city in the distance? That is Eulmore, the island's main settlement. It rivals the Crystarium in scale, and was once an ally in our battle against the abominations. For years, Eulmore and Elite have fancied themselves the masters of what remains of our broken world. They have gone as far as to offer the leaders of other settlements their protection if we bend the knee. But to say their ideas are questionable would be putting it mildly. The Crystarium is one among many who resist their heavily handed authority, and while we are not at war, our relationship with Eulmore is strained at best. It may be wise to conceal your ties with the Exarch during your stay here, especially in the vicinity of the city. Okay. I am glad we understand each other. Now, the Exarch has instructed me to divulge a secret that should make finding your friend a good deal easier. Listen closely.
Quest complete!
He just whispers that.
Wow.
Quest complete.
Every conch has a different song. This one says quest complete.
I like you just shout that and Alphenod just comes barreling at you. He's like, it's done? I'm done? Like, if you head south along the coast, you will eventually come to a fisherman's shack. A friend of the Crystarium. I keep wanting to say Crystallium. Crystarium lives there, a man who goes by the name of Eorzea. Eorzea keeps an eye on everything that happens in Colusia, and will be able to point you in the right direction. Just hand him a spring of thyme, and that will let him know you can be trusted. Here, this should be enough. Find your friend. I will stay here with the Amaro until you are ready to return. Alright.
I really hope he handed us a sprig of thyme.
I think he did, yeah. I think that was his goal.
Did he? Yes.
Yeah, it's in my.
No, he just gave us a low high five. Like,
Okay, first things first before we do anything.
Aether current? Oh,
Yep. The
Aether
crystal.
right.
close enough, I guess.
Change my bars to get to the thingy.
No, you can just start touching it, and then it'll kick you out of the car instantly.
Yeah.
Ew.
Don't ew me. I'll watch you touch it too. Ah. Evil,
Hey, look,
my
it's a
man.
Keith
You're-
clone.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, it is. Wait a second.
Is your estranged father?
It's the original
Wait,
hair.
is this your dad? Do we find your dad finally?
It's the hair I originally had and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
What's you
believe we
after?
already decided. Nope, never mind.
What you after?
Go on,
Fish? Crab?
Oh.
I think I've got an eel and a bear somewhere. If you've a taste for them.
No, I do.
Ooh, I do love a bit of thyme. Chuck some in the pan and it's like a bloody festival of flavor. What is it I can do for you? Can't say there's been any major upsets to report these past few weeks. He even has the orange eyes that I have. Alphino, eh? Aye, I know that one. Our young champion of the downtrodden. Eulmore is richer than all of Novrand put together, but it's a different story for them as live outside the city. Most spend every waking moment just trying to stay alive, which makes your friend's dedication to helping others stand out all the more. I can hazard a guess as to where he is now. Get a message to him, but you'll need somewhere quiet to meet, away from prying eyes. Make for Stilltide. That's the fishing village just up the path there. You're looking for a rundown excuse for a tavern that the locals call the Leaky Keel. Wait there, and I'll see that Alfino joins you. Staring contest.
At what point do you start to question, like, the safety of this quest? Like, how run down should a bar be before you go like, nah, this is a trap?
You get there, just a smouldering crater in the floor. Is that rundown enough for you?
I don't know, there's still a barrel full of booze.
Just in the middle of the crater, just booze.
Just showed Panda's name lurking through the wall from outside, like a warning. We just like walked in, turned our back to the counter, and started staring at the spot on the floor.
Only to be greeted by the person behind us we're turned our backs to is talking to us now. So we look like a bunch of degenerates at a tavern looking at the floor, and we don't know what we're doing here.
This your first time in a tavern? It's customary to buy a drink if you mean to loiter. And please stop staring at my floor, it's disconcerting. So, what will you be having?
Ale, meat, or water?
Meat is disgusting, as we previously discussed, so ale.
What?
I'm just having water.
I will have water.
We just talked about how gross meat was, like, last stream.
Yeah.
Meat's good.
Ew.
Okay. A fine choice. And what'll you be paying with? Toenails. Well now, those are exotic. Where did you come by coins like that? I'm sorry, dear. I don't doubt they have value, but I don't have a touchstone to test their purity, and I'm not about to go begging for one from the neighbors. So we'll just have to come to some sort of other arrangement.
What?
They're using a lot of double entendre language today.
Is this like when you go to a place and they don't take a MasterCard and you're like, oh shit, what do
We'll
I
have to
pay
make
with?
other arrangements.
Yeah, like what?
No, for everything else as MasterCard, it's Amex that gets turned down.
What the fuck is
here's an
Amex?
American Express.
American
Oh.
Express. I've experienced that firsthand multiple times. It's not very fun.
Being turned down, or people saying Amex?
Both.
Yes. Here's an idea. There's a common to the north where we grow our vegetables, but lately the pests have been eating more of them than we have. What do you say a bit of extermination work?
Ma'am, I am here to literally cure your shitty little rundown, pathetic continent of fucking ass eaters. I don't want you to tell me to go pick vegetables in the garden so I could pay for a drink I don't really want.
No.
It was an option that
The
you
extent
gave
to
me.
which she went from 0 to giving us a quest that we didn't ask for is really presumptuous.
It's
Especially
really
since two of us
presumptuous, like-
asked for water.
Look, the drink is just so she can slip a message under there, obviously.
Nah, that's bullshit. This is bullshit, dude. This
It's
is
like, I'll grab a
this is
glass of water. Well, my garden needs pruning, so
Yeah, I literally was like, here's
glasses
money. And
of
she's
water
like,
don't come cheap.
She's like, oops,
Also-
I don't take that kind of money. Like, what?
For the record, like, we are the only people in here.
No, there's at least
Apart
2
from
people
you
over
mean
there.
Panda and Cat in the corner over
Yeah.
there. I want you to squash any vermin you find. Then visit the caretaker and give him an earful from me for sleeping on the job. He'll be in an old silo next to the fence, snoring like as not. Do that for me and you can laze about here as long as you like.
Confronting somebody is even worse than doing work. This is the worst day of my life.
Wait, so you also want us to chastise your staff?
Yeah, what the
Because
fuck?
you're so busy right now.
For a glass of water?
I just
There's like
became
a
a
lake
middle
over
manager.
there.
What the fuck is this?
This
Why
better be
what?
the bougiest glass of water I have ever had.
You're not even gonna get to see it. It's not even
They're gonna
real.
be fake and shit.
You're getting Dasani. Deal with it.
damn it.
she's getting the service that I'm paid for. Like, this is gonna
I'll tell
be
you what,
only a glass of water's worth of work. So I'm gonna use my gun to shoot her pest problem on her herbs.
Do you have flamethrower yet, Keith?
What button is that? I do, but you have to charge it up.
That would have been perfect.
I think I have. Wait, do I even have it? I actually don't know if I have it at all.
you know what? If she's offering Dasani, can I just take some like
I have
water from the local
Bioblaster
river
now.
instead?
What is a bioblaster? You just shit on them?
Yeah.
Actually, what are these buttons? I probably should have these mapped somewhere else. Oh well. I'm not here to
No
learn my
response.
character.
You need to knock louder.
Knock,
Just
knock.
booting the door.
No response.
Alright.
This boss is the new raid boss. The store is the new raid boss. Defeat it.
Oh, the bane of every adventuring party ever. Doors.
You hear a faint squeaking from the room beyond. Time to burst in and save the day, brave adventurer. From the squeaking? Are you gonna save them from rats?
Clearly.
FBI, open up.
No one is home, and judging from the lack of furniture, they haven't been for some time. The gnawed scraps of vegetables on the floor suggest rats have taken up residence in their absence.
Huh.
Oh.
Oh, that's probably why. Your guy quit and just didn't give you notice. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
shitty
Clearly.
boss.
You didn't even notice.
Though I guess, I mean, I've seen you experience firsthand how you treat customers, so I imagine your employees get the worst treatment possible.
Oh, you want your paycheck? You just got to just rub your face in all this pesticide.
Well, her name is Thiever. So, yeah.
You want your paycheck? I'm gonna need you to work first, but a different job that I won't pay you for.
It's a
Welcome back,
pyramid
dear.
scheme, but the pyramid is how much infinite work you have to do.
that just sounds like Animal Crossing. What did that good-for-nothing caretaker have to say for himself?
Bye.
He's dead.
Gone? Must have left her doing with the rest of the hopefuls. Hopeful for what? In Gatetown, outside Eulmore. You don't have a clue what I'm talking about, do you? And they're always thinking you were another dreamer. Well, never mind all that. Take a seat wherever you like, dear. You've more than earned it. I'll even throw in another drink on the house. Oh, now you.
Is this going to be like the
What?
show The 3%? Have you ever seen that show?
Understand.
No, I haven't.
It's on Netflix. It's a Spanish show where every... Oop, is this going to be voice acted?
And how is business today, Mistress Thever?
Ew, I know that squeaky voice.
Oh, frenetic. Look, I have a new customer.
These attempted
See?
reveals are so goofy.
Tis
It
good to
didn't
see you,
start
my
at
friend.
his thighs and work its way up, did it?
No.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
Did
The
something
game
change
went
that?
out of its way to sexualize the underage girl.
He's wearing
The
a
barley seeds you
poncho.
wanted. They should produce a better harvest than the last.
What, just like that? Oh, well, Fino, you really are a dear. Well, I'd best be tidying up some of those empty shacks before the pests move in. Keep an eye on the place while I'm out, eh?
It seems an age since last we spoke. Not since the prisoner exchange in Doma. And Yotsu. It has been even longer for me, of course, if you count the days I've spent here. But the time has only added to the relief I feel seeing you safe and well.
We thought we'd lost you.
Alize said much the same thing. I don't think I've ever had such a scolding. But I believe an exchange of news is in order. Come, tell me of your arrival and all that came before.
One exposition later.
I see. Both the Exarch and Dalize told me what they knew of events, but I had stubbornly clung on to the hope that all-out war might yet be avoidable. And poor Tataru. She must be sick with worry. We must endeavor to return as soon as we may. It would be nice to bring her good tidings for a change.
Sure, she's sick of overworking.
That too.
But before we bid this world farewell, we must first ensure that it is not rejoined to the source. We must prevent the 8th Umbral Calamity. Eorzea's vision of the future has, I fear, every chance of coming true. By his description, the catalyst for the calamity was a formless and deadly weapon employed by the Garlean Empire. Which can only mean one thing. Black Rose. Gaius was telling you the truth. When we were on the trail of the Ascians, we saw evidence that the gas was being manufactured once more. Gaius was adamant that the project had been scrapped. But so long as there are wars to be waged, there will always be those determined to win by any means. And thus simply destroying the existing stores of Black Rose would do little to alter fate's course. In that sense, our involuntary journey here to the First was something of a boon. Together with the Exarch, we've developed a theory as to how we believe the rejoining will be set in motion.
That's something to look forward to.
I'm sure Eorzea himself will cover the subject in more detail.
Excruciating detail.
But I can tell you the process requires that both worlds, the Source and the First, be
Oh
facing
no,
an
please do it.
existential
Just do a
threat.
summary for us. I don't want him to talk about it. It's gonna be
One
so
being
long.
Sin-Eaters, of course.
No, fuck, no, dude.
They are a menace that I would dearly love to remove, and not just to avert a calamity.
Tell me about the culture of both worlds.
I may be a stranger to this world, but I will not stand idly by and let innocent people be slaughtered. That is what brought me to the gates of Eulmore. Ignoring its pretensions as a kind of capital city to what remains of the world, it is nonetheless a center of power and authority. If any solutions are to be
Certainly not
found,
hungry for food or
I believe
water.
our
Had
search
plenty
should
of
begin
both
there.
that.
What say you, old friend? Hungry for another adventure?
Oh. You know me, a glutton for punishment.
And so we take to the road once more.
And long stories.
Oh, with that poncho, sir, please change. I'm not traveling anywhere with you looking like that. Put something else on. It's a desert, for God's sake, my man. Don't
No,
wear
here
a
it's
poncho.
not. We're not in a
Yeah,
desert
no, not
anymore.
here.
Yeah.
Also,
That was
just
a different
noticed
place.
Panda's wearing the same outfit.
Well, he just changed.
Oh my God, now there's more ponchos. This is awful. This is getting the
Assuming
worst
you have no
possible quest.
objections, let us make our way directly to the city outskirts. If we time our arrival just right, you may be lucky enough to see why I have yet to set foot in Eulmore, despite my best efforts to do so. From here, we must head west and then cross a small bridge. Yeah, I think that poncho, that's a poncho that's been available like this whole time to wear, unlike the other character-specific gear. It's easy to get, I think. I keep bouncing off of it.
You have one too?
No.
Hey, look, it's
Oh,
Pride
It's
Rock.
one of the things I keep eyeing and then not getting. I'm like,
Yeah,
Well,
but
now
I doubt
you
we're
just
gonna
stand
bump
out.
into Simba or any of the others here. Purple.
Uh-huh.
Colusia
Get
seems
surrounded.
peaceful, does it not? Almost familiar. I had a similar impression of the Constarium. Even in this distant world, people are much the same. To think whenever a calamity struck the source, a reflection such as this one, with all its culture and history, was being erased from existence.
I guess it's probably a character that'll be here for a while. No, get away from me.
Over there. Look at those giant geckos. Quickly, someone's in trouble.
Oh my god.
Or chameleons.
Jesus.
Chameleons is the word. Whoa, I pressed the thing.
Those are huge. My god. What are they eating? Each other?
They like-
Oh, birds. Oh, wait.
Manic, madame.
Oh, thank the fates. Look out. Bye. Pew. Oh, look at that. There it goes.
I don't even get to finish a combo. Don't worry, we'll aid you by stroking your hair.
My poor heart. Thank you, young miss.
Ah, there you are. In my haste, I lost my bearings. But I see you have the situation well in hand. Fine work.
Yeah, alright, kid.
Are you alright, madame?
Just a few bruises were from where I fell. Nothing compared to what was in store for me before this brave soul came to my rescue. I honestly thought I was done for. My feet are not as swift as they once were, and I knew there was no one left to hear me scream. Not that I let that stop me. I should probably leave my old house behind and queue up outside of Eulmore with the rest of them. Doubt those fancy lords and ladies would welcome an old crone like me. Still, even a shack near the gate has to be safer than staying here.
One would hope. Either way, I suggest you avoid wandering alone, lest you make the Sin Eater's task any easier.
Thank you again. You saved my life. Now, I'm sure a strapping lass like you has little to fear, but I wouldn't linger long in this place. There's naught to be had here but cobwebs and memories.
Memories are delicious.
Now get the fuck off my yard.
Get off my lawn.
It is as the lady says. Many in these parts have abandoned their homes to live in Eulmore's shadow. Should the Sin Eaters descend upon this region, there are precious few with the strength to fight them off. Speaking of which, what have you been told of these monsters?
I've seen one born firsthand.
Yeah. When a lady Sin Eater loves a lady human very much. Ah, yes. Alice would be well qualified to speak on the subject. Compared with Orang, Colusia is almost a haven. But as you saw, we cannot let our guard down. Had you arrived but a few moments later, the Sin Eaters would have claimed another victim. Still, we have won a small victory this time, at least. Now, shall we press on? We need to return to where the road forks and follow the path that leads west. Ba-boom.
Let's go.
Yeah,
then.
the 3% is a Spanish show that you can watch on Netflix where everyone kind of lives in the slums, but then there's a separate like super advanced, high quality, rich place you can live that has medical technology and everything. It's just everything you'd hope for, basically.
You sure that's not the movie Elysium?
No one remembers the movie Elysium, and no one will ever talk about it again.
Elysium.
No one remembers.
Wait a
No one who
second.
watches good movies remembers Elysium.
You know,
But
we can walk
in
by
this
that.
show, there's like a series of trials and puzzles and challenges that pit everyone against each other in the year of their coming of age, kind of like the Hunger Games a little bit, but it's everyone.
I was gonna say, that sounds kind of like Hunger.
Well, Hunger Games is 2 people
Yeah.
from every colony every year, so it's like almost no one. Here, it's everybody in the year they're coming of age, although some of them can still die. And
Oh, okay.
It's your one
so Battle
chance.
Royale.
it's your one chance to either get into that society or be stuck down there forever.
Okay, so you get like one shot.
So when they talked about we knew that there was like a decadent society up here and the people are called dreamers. I'm like, oh, they're trying to get past the gate. There must be some sort of test or threshold or requirement.
That gate up ahead is known as the Open Arms, and Eulmore itself lies beyond. This, meanwhile, is the aptly named Gatetown, the dwelling place of the many desperate souls who hope to be chosen to live in the city proper.
That's not what I thought he was going to look like.
I thought I recognised you. Brought a new friend, eh?
I have 12.
I'll bet you got a trick or two up your sleeve. Maybe even 3. Care to show me?
You show me yours first.
He's not here to compete. Leave him be.
Oh.
What? I was only making conversation.
They do compete. It's totally the 3%.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please! Greetings to our hopeful petitioners, one and all. Eulmore extends its warmest regards. Let it be known that a lady of distinction wishes to dine on fish divine. We seek a master culinarian who can guarantee seafood perfection. Dazzle the matron with your delicious dishes, and life in the city will be yours to enjoy, even on days when fish is not on the menu. Who among you will answer the call? Name yourself or another. We might not at all.
Looks like fish is back on the menu, boys. I'm a culinarian.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
Do you
I'm
recall
only a
how I said
culinarian.
Eulmore was a center of power and authority? Well, that is not the only reason for its fame. It is also known as the City of Final Pleasures. The noble and the wealthy who survived the flood gathered here to live out the rest of their days in decadent abandon. A poor man could sooner pass through the iron needle than Eulmore's gates. The
References.
only way the common folk can enter this perverted paradise is if they fulfill the whim of one of the privileged. And so they are picked over like market produce.
He inverted and subverted a Bible quote.
What a catch! We'll not be throwing this one back. Having seen your all too obvious charms, we welcome you with open arms. Come, join us in a city of splendor and live out your life in an ecstasy of endeavor.
Everyone would
just
not
look
be
at those
clapping.
expectant faces. What could you possibly be waiting for?
I mean, at least they get fed if one of them isn't picked. That's nice.
Well, what have we here? An extra share of meal to celebrate our newest resident.
Oh, that's why they're clapping. Looks like an ass. This cake is caked.
Enjoy.
Thank goodness.
Over here.
Meal is a foodstuff which Eulmore routinely doles out to the people of Gatetown, and apparently a staple for its citizens as well. Many here rely on it to survive in these times of scarcity, yet the whole arrangement just seems... well, let's just say it leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
That's not creepy at all.
They just come back and they're like, we're in need of specifically a Vieira wearing like orange and purple armor. Is there anyone among you who's like that?
Yeah, the quote he was riffing on was, "Again, I tell you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for someone who is rich to enter the kingdom of God."
Yeah, that's the quote about getting into heaven by paying
Like
your way
Alphina's
through.
being clever.
Yeah. Well, no, he's not, because he's ripping it off from someone else. He's not even making up his own
You're
shit.
doing a reference. Now you understand why my attempts to enter the city have thus far come to naught. The dubious privilege of residency must be won via a contest with ever-changing rules. They say this policy has been in place for the past 2 decades, ever since Eulmore's current ruler came into power. Yet, from what I have seen, it has done more harm than good. Not only does it distract the people from our shared struggle against the Sin Eaters, it robs them of their self-sufficiency. I have tried to propose ways they could improve their lot, but my words invariably fall on deaf ears. The attitude is so entrenched now. I worry that, well, mayhap you should take a turn around Gatetown and judge the situation for yourself. How do they get resources?
That's why they were clapping when someone got picked, because they got.
No, how does the city get resources?
They turn the people into food.
they eat the people that they bring up there. They turn them into they transmogrify them into 40 loaves of bread. Oh no, I ate people earlier.
Mule is people.
Mule is people.
Still here, are ya? Can't blame you for wanting a slice of Eulmore's pie. If you ask me, you should ditch that sour-faced brat and make a home for yourself here. Gatetown's not much to look at, At least it's safe. And the meal is the best thing I've ever tasted.
Okay, yeah, it's definitely something's up with that meal, dude. I'm telling you, it's made of people.
Here's something very funny. Here's something very funny to me. I've been playing Fallout New Vegas lately, and what bothers me is that that game's a post-apocalypse, but everyone in that setting grew up in the post-apocalypse, so they're not living in ruins. Like, they built wherever they lived, or if not, the ruins they're living in, they've lived in for like decades. These houses look nicer than the ones in Fallout, which should be newly built wooden houses for the most part. I don't understand why Fallout is that way. Where the fuck is this orange thing pointing? My map's too zoomed. Oh, it's really big. Never mind. I couldn't see past all the question marks.
Bubbling pot.
I thought this was a separate one.
Like, some of these buildings are actually fairly decent considering they're shacks.
No, like these are...
Yeah, I don't know how this guy decided to put 2 different slanting position roofs on his one fucking house that he couldn't even get a fucking finished wall for because there's a sheet over it. Why? Just use the wood that you did for this fancy unnecessary fucking roof. What is wrong with you? Like,
I think a slant just so that the water runs off.
Yep.
But one side isn't slanted, so wouldn't the water just go onto that side anyways?
I don't see any unslanted roofs anywhere.
Yeah, there literally are none.
I don't know what you're looking at, Andrew.
Okay.
They're all slants.
Oh, well. All slants.
A large pot bubbles over the flame. Pale chunks, mule, you realize, float in the otherwise plain broth. They're just cooking it and nothing else. That looks not plain broth. That looks like a spicy broth. It looks like it has like carrots and other stuff in it. And the broth is like a thick yellow, like chicken.
Hey, your broth is a deception. He is too spicy.
It just doesn't, what I'm looking at doesn't match what they said.
Just look at it. Can you imagine a more beautiful city?
No.
Every day,
yes, it's easy.
Every day I dream of the life that awaits me inside those walls. Oh, will they ever pick me? I can literally see a better town right here. Like, turn around. It's right there. You can see it with a fucking aetheryte crystal and everything.
I didn't realize Jester Chic was in.
Oh, it's in.
Oh yeah, there literally is just a nicer place to live, like a 5-minute walk away.
Turn an entire town of pygmies.
You've seen what Gatetown has to offer? These people can no longer fend for themselves. They become dependent on handouts of meal. And believe Eulmore, and believe Eulmore is the answer to their woes. Yet no matter how I frame my encouragement, they seem unwilling, they unable to conceive of another life. It's because of the hypnotic qualities of meal.
That would be the LSD they put in there.
Telling you, man. People.
You disapprove of these people's way of life? You catty bitch?
Yeah.
Disprove? It frustrates me, certainly. That is only part of it, though. The whole situation makes me uneasy. Not that it matters. However unjust the system seems to me, if these people claim to be content with their lot, it is hardly my place to criticize their choices. I mean, yeah. Fuck off.
But I am going to criticize about it. So.
Yeah. Anyway, I will now continue to do that. But take that elderly lady you rescued. Does it not seem that those who have chosen to forego Eulmore's largesse are doomed to suffer for their independence? In the end, they are all but forced to seek refuge in Gatetown, and so hamlets and fields across the island are left empty and untended, hastening the region's descent into ruin. Is that town over there empty? Is that town over there empty, Alphino? Like... Nay, I am not convinced that Eulmore's generosity truly serves the best interests of Colusia's people. I am not so naive as to think that there is some miraculous solution to all this, yet I cannot help but frown at the sight of hard-working villagers struggling to survive, even as the chosen few rejoice at being plucked from poverty by the hand of a capricious noble. There has to be a better way. I will not know for sure, however, until I have taken those long-delayed steps through Eulmore's gates. 'Tis fortunate you have arrived when you did, hero. I have been working on a scheme to insinuate myself into the city, and if all goes to plan, it should come soon to fruition.
Wait, couldn't you just...
There is a beast tribe
could you
who
not just... Okay, sorry, go.
What's up?
I think, like, couldn't you just fucking get a horse and just show up? Because they seem to be doing it at a consistent time of day. Just come every time they go and do it, and then just go back home. Why do you have to live here?
Was it implied that they do it at the same time every day?
Oh, I don't know. It just seemed like it was...
We have a data point of 1.
I guess.
And it seemed to just happen because some lady wanted fish.
Yeah, it's literally just... This noble wants something now suddenly.
Yeah.
Who can
What's surprising is that some noble apparently just wants one thing, and that's apparently enough to, like, change someone's life individually, because someone, like, just, like, on a whim was like, oh, I'd like fish today. Let's change someone's life so I can have fish today.
When a nobleman offers something to someone, usually they don't care what kind of price is put on how they get said something.
Well,
especially
it just raises questions about how the resources work in this society.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. What something that I found interesting is that on first glance, it looks like a criticism of class divides, where you have the upper class and the lower class and so on. But what's funny to me is that so far it's implied, we've been shown that apparently the upper class just straight up feeds the poor for free every day, or regularly, or someone, like, enough that these people are all surviving here off of apparently just meal, which is more kind than real life class divides are in the real world.
Yeah.
That is not the rich do not feed the poor
better,
normally.
That's literally better than Uldal.
But yes, but my issue though is that they're just a floating city up in the sky. So I'm like, either they're conjuring food with pure magic, or it's a plot hole, or it's evil, and something evil and fucked up is happening to make food exist, and, like, I don't know, it's like coming from, like, maybe like it's being all run by like an angel or something, and the angel's conjuring food to ensnare them or something. Like, they have to have some kind of food source.
Grinding people up and turning them into
yeah, or they're literally just eating the people that they let up there, and no one ever gets to join the society. And then it's like Outer Worlds and stuff, where it's just like, JK, we lied to you about your future. There's something nefarious happening. On its face, like on its face, it makes no sense that they can support themselves with no apparent incoming resource, let alone support everybody else that's down here, just on a whim, basically.
Well,
something
there
does
seem
add
to be
up.
some kind of incoming resource, because where are they getting the fish from? I mean, presumably there's some sort of either maybe an airship system or maybe there's boats. Who knows?
So they're able to maintain some sort of status that allows them to party all day despite the world not having that, like, those resources to begin with around them and collapsing. Like, doesn't seem to matter. So something's up. There's a beast tribe who makes its home in the seas surrounding the island. The Ando, they're called, though you and I know them as Sahagin. This is our excuse to recycle the names of all the models from throughout the other games, but just name them something new. For the most part, they keep themselves to their ocean grottos and rarely have dealings with land dwellers. But as Tataru took to, I guess I pronounce it Tataru, which I hate. But as Tataru took such great pains to impress upon me during our stay in Kugane, business favors the bold, and so I reached out to them. I duly discovered that the Ando are inordinately fond of land-grown produce. I should just said fuck it and call them Zora. Fresh fruits in particular. And when I offered to procure such goods for them, they had promised to pay me in pearls. An attractive business venture for any prospective investor. Would you not agree? Surely even the most jaded Eulmoran lord would have time for a merchant who can make pearls from plums and pumpkins. Yes, I've come a long way since my days of buying samurai swords without first negotiating a price.
Never gonna let that down. He's never gonna live that down.
No,
Nope.
ever. My appointment with the Ando is due to take place in a few hours. I just need to collect the produce and meet with them on the shore. Might you help me with the exchange? Excellent. I should be glad of your company. First things first, then. We must pay a visit to Mosha Moa, my supplier in the right. Come, it's just northwest from here. You saw it over there because you looked in any other direction for a minute. There's always a schemer. He discovered your plan. He's gonna just go in and steal all your pearls. He's gonna get them first.
Slightly more egregious than the poncho he's wearing, which he's got extra large thick socks pulled up on the outside of his trousers.
He's got socks over his pants?
You gotta have that contrast. I mean,
Literally pulled up just below the knee.
That's almost as egregious as Resident Evil 4 when fucking Ashley has a sweater and then another sweater.
Oh no.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, the one around her neck.
Yeah, she's wearing a sweater tied around her neck in the old Resident Evil 4, but she's also wearing what appears to be an orange sleeveless like sweater normally. So she has two sweaters.
Like a sweater vest, yeah.
She has like two knit sweaters, and I'm like, what the fuck? You dress like this?
She is the president's daughter, so maybe it's just a different class than we're aware of.
Yeah, they are like he has like leggings or whatever. They're like tucked into his giant woolen socks. Sure is a look.
We're just here to stare at you. No one will read this dialogue. Is there something I can do for you, friend?
Good day to you, Mosha Moa. This is my associate, the Warrior of Light. That'd be a bit of a alarming name to give someone in this setting.
Yeah, you would definitely not want to call somebody that.
Oh my god.
Given the whole everything happening. This is my associate, Link. We are here to collect the produce I have purchased.
I loaded your lackey up with goods not long ago.
My lackey? I know of no such person. How did he beat us here? We flew by car.
Mr. Ladd, short blue hair. No, he said he'd come on your behalf, and since he seemed to know all the details, I just assumed.
Why would you assume?
Confound it. Someone must have been eavesdropping on our conversation. Like they do in every storyline of every part of this game. It finally came out to bite them in the ass. If this charlatan was here not long ago, he cannot have gone far. We should split up and search the area. You find a vantage point on the south side of town, I shall take the west. What are you gonna do? Pounce them as a tiny child man?
tackle their ankles. Speaking
I
of,
forgot. Did we already get this one? We did not.
Oh.
I'm
swear there's a
so on
knitted
top
socks as
of
well.
things.
That was a pretty nice town. If only you could just live here instead of poverty.
I guess you're gonna walk, huh? Or
I'm almost
It's not
there.
like there's any nasty creatures on the road to maul you with.
The better to maul with you with, dear. Look at the toucan. They have too much beak.
Oh, yeah.
Search the surroundings of this thing. I really want to bring
we're
this
doing this
mechanic
again.
back. Well, I see
I
one
wonder where they
person.
could be.
Is that them? Yep, it's the first thing I saw. Stop moving so I can click on you with my controller. It's hard. You've located your quarry. You've awoken the hive.
That cat burglar.
Link. Any sign of him?
Yep.
Yet? You've a keen eye. Let's. I don't know how the fuck we saw him from there, given it was just our eyes.
I'm literally wearing a mask right now. I can't see him.
Let us move in before he makes his escape. We don't have binoculars, do we? We just like squinted.
I don't know.
It's unreasonable that we would see somebody's hair color from here.
The
Like
better
you're
question is,
genuinely
if we're
far.
just squinting, how are we zooming in?
Squint harder.
You just unscrew your eyeball from your head and pull it out.
Toucans!
Oh my god, that's a lot.
We're under attack.
Threekins.
Why are there so many toucans? What is going on here? Where did these come from? Oh my god, why are there more? What are you doing?
There are additional toucan.
Yeah, there's too many toucans.
Now there's one can.
3, 2, 1 can.
Okay, no more toucans. Jesus Christ, guys. Fucking extinct the species.
There you are. The thief who claims the harvest on my behalf. Hand it over.
Well, forgive me. I have to get into the city. I have no family and all my friends have already been chosen. No one here gives a damn about me. When the meal gets handed out, I'm lucky if I get a smell of it.
There's not enough food for everybody.
No matter what I do, they won't call out my name. I'm so tired, I'm so bloody hungry. I thought maybe I could steal your idea. Get in that way.
How about you go grow some food, you whiny bitch?
What is your name?
Kai Shear.
Tell me then, Kai Shear. Must it be Eulmore or nothing? What of the Crystarium? They may not offer charity, but you would be fairly compensated for any work you did.
No, it has to be Eulmore. That's where all my friends are. We made a promise that we'd live together in paradise.
I was to make my deal with the Ando at the Clave. Listen carefully, and I shall tell you my plans for the business, and how best to arouse the Eulmoran's interest.
You'll give me your place? Just like that?
I'm giving you a chance, nothing more. What comes of it is entirely up to you.
The lady you're buying the produce from could
I
probably
understand.
do this.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
If you knew what it was for.
I'm just saying, I'm kind of...
No, it really wasn't.
It really wasn't. No.
Maybe she likes it in that town.
This was but one path.
I meant more of
There
the
will be
people that are
others.
sitting outside. You can do
But for
that.
Yonkai Shir,
Like,
it was the difference between life and death. I do not regret my decision, yet I will admit that a part of me wonders if it was for the best. We strive to bring swift salvation to this world, that countless lives might be saved, not least your own. Even if it came at the cost of one man, should I have
Quite
forged on
possibly.
regardless?
I mean, you did make bad decisions.
Track record and all.
That's not who you are.
But it could be.
Try really hard.
That's not who you are yet.
Were Estinian here, he would most likely scoff at my soft-heartedness.
Same old Alfido, ever the slave to sentiment.
But I thank you for your kind words nonetheless. Let us see to it that both these stories have a happy ending. Shall we return to Rite then?
Voice actors doing impressions of other characters in character is always kind of funny because it usually just sounds like they're doing a different voice entirely. Quick, zoom with your eyes.
Squint
I'm not
harder.
sure, but I think someone's in trouble.
How the fuck did you spot that at a glance?
Come on, they may need our help.
Bruh, I think I need your help in figuring out why your eyesight's so good.
Do I
What the
need
fuck?
glasses?
Maybe
How do
looking
you
with
see
his
that
ears.
well?
Yeah, what the fuck?
How the fuck? Look at how far away that is. There's also like a pier in the way.
I can't see
My
them from
god.
here.
There's literally a dock in the
Yeah.
way, so you can't even see that part of the shore.
I'm flying it in a straight line
Yeah.
just to see how long it takes me to actually have them load in.
I'm so baffled.
Nope. Wow. I had to get this close for them to actually load in.
Effie's dead.
I am not there.
Effie's not here. He just didn't skip the
I
cutscene.
am, however, slightly passing out.
Slightly,
it's
literally,
pretty
actually passed out. I'm only a little dead.
Oh, there you are.
Effie is ripped in pieces. R.I.P.P.P.
Well, wake him up. Wake him up.
Before you go.
Yeah, what is Alphino's rendered distance set to? He's got like the fucking like GeForce
Right.
4080.
And he still doesn't. Oh, there we go. Right here.
Oh my god.
Right here is the exact
Literally,
load
the game
distance,
doesn't
like-
literally doesn't load stuff that far away, but there's also just
There.
literally like a pier thing in the way. We weren't even standing in a
the pier's
spot where you could see that. Oh, and a thingy.
Where? Oh. Thingy.
Interestingly, I can still hear it even though I've already collected it.
Maybe it's the water. Don't worry, we'll rub
We're
the air ahead
surrounding
of
the
you,
kid.
above you. That'll save you.
It always
That-
works for me.
That should take care of the worst of his injuries. What, somebody up there eat shit and fall out of the castle?
Is that Dante from Dante's Inferno? Who wants to be this guy? No one? Pretty face?
He probably sticks around.
Oh, that's true. Mercy. Mercy, I beg you. Oh, this guy's begging for a res.
Breathe easy, sir. No harm will come to you here. The poor man is shivering. Pray keep an eye on him while I get a fire going.
He is dressed far too nicely to be local.
Oh, he
Didn't you
definitely.
just summon
I'm pretty sure he fell out of the castle.
I thought for certain. I thought for certain I was dead. How am I ever going to repay this kindness?
By letting us in. Oh, I'm sitting down the funny way. I love Rothgar. We'll settle for the table being your current predicament. For the tale being your current predicament. Why don't you begin by telling us your name? He's definitely gonna be how we get in there.
Crystal, I was invited into Eulmore to work as an artist. A wealthy couple took me in to paint pictures for them, but when my style proved contrary to their taste, they just as quickly toughed me out onto the street. I was left penniless and patronless, a grave sin in Lord Vothry's city. Within days, they had brought me before the man himself, and he asked me what I meant to do. Dejected as I was, I told him that I wished to leave. Little did I know how soon he would grant my wish. They flung me over the balustrade into the goddamn ocean.
Grant me my wash, and they throw him in the ocean. God damn it.
That's pretty good. That's...
From up there, how are you not dashed to pieces?
Don't ask me. Luck, I suppose. Though, if you hadn't found me when you did, it wouldn't have counted for much.
Monstrous. And the citizens condone such barbaric punishment?
Yeah. Without a second thought. When Lord Vothry passes judgment, no one so much as blinks, let alone argues. In Eulmore, his word is law.
It's Eulmore.
Eulmore?
Just Eulmore. There's no anything. There's no law at all in the name.
Eulmore?
Why do you keep adding a law? The more I hear about Eulmore, I don't. You don't like their name? Well, they suck. So
I just don't like. I just don't like saying L on its own. It's so lonely.
The more I hear about Eulmore, the more determined I am to see what waits within its walls. I shall bend all my thoughts towards securing another way into the city. There must be something we can do. But first, we should convey Tristal to the shelter of the village. Fire or no fire, he needs to be out of this chilly coastal air. It's a bit nippy out.
Away into the city? Well, there's also a big claw on the beach.
Alright, that seems like a break-off point.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The stage is set. Next week we will try to figure out how to get into the city.